Okay, now we're getting into the apartment description. Now, right now, you'll notice there's a lot of HTML stuff here, and we don't expect you to know HTML. That is why we have an HTML editor. So what you're going to do when you are building out your units, you're just going to cut and paste a description, and oftentimes you can get it right off of the apartment company's website. You can get, the features of the unit, all kinds of good information, and put it right in this box here. And then once you have it in here, you're going to click on Save Apartment Description. Okay. Now, you'll notice in this case there's already some HTML stuff here, and that is because Aaxsys, being web-based, does a lot of our descriptions, and all of that goes out over the web. So we use HTML for that to make it look the way we want it to look. So I'm going to click on the HTML editor here. So what you do is you cut and paste it into that box, and then you click on HTML editor, and here is where you can put in your paragraph breaks, in this case there's some bullet points. You can put a certain font here, a size, you can bold things. So right here is where you do all of that, and then you submit the changes. So this is very cool. I highly recommend that all of you use really good descriptions when you're building out your units, because you're trying to sell people on this unit. And when you send out a fact sheet on the complex, it's going to have pictures, it's going to have descriptions. You want it to be very complete. So don't skimp here. I think one of the biggest mistakes I see clients making is they have a very skimpy description or none at all. And in this day and age, you really need a good description. So please do that. All right, so now we've added our description. Down here, this is internal notes. So this is places where you can put Wi-Fi IDs, passwords. You can put information about the furniture package you used or the housewares package you used. You can put owner information, anything you want here. It's only germane to your reservation staff. Nobody else is going to see it. So this is internal notes just for you guys to have. It's a quick way for you to keep all of this important information handy. When you pull up the unit, you'll have it right here. So that's what that is for. Okay, let's go back onto the top. Now we've saved all of this. It's also, I forgot to mention, when you make any changes here, any changes to the rates or the information here, you're going to want to come down and click Save Apartment Features. So anything above this line, any change you make, you'll always want to come here and save it so that you don't lose it. And then conversely, when you put in information here on the description and you change it, save apartment description, and when you save notes, internal notes, save internal notes. Okay, let's go back up and we'll talk a little bit about pictures. So pictures in Aaxsys is very simple. What I recommend you do is before you get started building out your units, you set up a picture file. And you just open up a folder and throw all your pictures for a particular apartment into that file. Now, the best way to do your pictures when you're creating your units in Aaxsys is to not put in your specific apartment pictures. That is, pictures of your furniture packet, the units when it's furnished. What I recommend is first you do pictures of the community, the pool, the buildings, the amenities, the gym, all of that. You want to do those first. And then when you do those, it's very simple to copy this apartment to a new apartment. So once we've done our first one in this building, it's very simple to copy to a new apartment and do another one. But if we have specific pictures in there, it makes it more difficult. You'll have to go in and delete pictures. So when you first create creating your units, put in the generic pictures, although I recommend you have a lot of them. It's, again, we're in the digital age here. People want to see pictures. So don't skimp here either. Take nice pictures and high resolution photos and many pictures. It's not uncommon to see 20 or 25 pictures per apartment. So don't be afraid. I usually have several shots of the buildings, the grounds, the pools, the parking sometimes, the tennis courts, all of that. You want to have as many pictures as you can. Okay, so in order to then upload those pictures, once you've set them in a folder, is you click on Upload New Picture, and they have to be a JPEG format, so that's important. So you're going to browse for your pictures. I typically say go to, set them up somewhere on the desktop or something where you have your folders, and open that document, and then bring in the pictures. So let's see if we have any here. Okay, here's an example. So these are personal pictures, but you can open up these pictures and multi-select those pictures and bring them in. So it's very simple to do. You don't have to format them. Aaxsys will automatically format your pictures to fit. And then you just click Send. So it's very simple to do. Once the pictures are in there, you can manage those pictures. So we'll click on Manage Apartment Pictures. And here is where you can reorder the pictures. So if you don't like the order of the pictures, this is where you do it. One important thing to note about the pictures is that the top left picture is your lead-in picture in Aaxsys. So whenever you're on different websites and they'll have one photo as the lead photo, that's the one that's going to be chosen. So it's important that you don't have the bathroom as the number one picture. So you want maybe a picture like this, or perhaps you could do that or this. You want something nice to be your lead-in pictures. Now if you do want to reorder them, you simply click Reorder Pictures, and they're numbered. So if I want to make number 7 as number 1, I'm just going to put a 1 right here and submit, and it will then reorder those pictures and put this as your number 1 picture. Another important thing to know, when you have multiple units in the same building and they look very similar, it's important that you scramble your pictures around a little bit so that they don't all look the same. So that the lead-in picture on 7 different units, for instance, in your building, they don't all have this picture. So you would go into, after you bring in all the pictures to all your units, you can go in and reorder those pictures just for that reason, so that you don't have all those pictures. You don't want the same picture for all your units. Okay, I think we've covered for the most part. There's so much more in Aaxsys, but this is a good basic overall structure of how you want to set up your units. If you do it right the first time, it's so much easier then to copy them to a new apartment, and it's going to make your job a lot easier when you do it the same every time. You don't have things looking different. You make sure you capitalize things, capital for every word, and they all look the same. You'll get to where you do this very, very quickly. You won't even think about it, but it's important that you do it consistently. I think that's the most important thing in Aaxsys. I don't know if I talked about the available from and the available until. I think I skipped over that. This is very crucial here. The available from and the available until are the lease dates you have with the community. So in this case, the lease start date with your community for this apartment is August 10th, and the date you're going to give it back is April 10th. Now, oftentimes your guests will extend, and you can click remove here and put a different date here. But that's important to know. So please put in your available from, your available until in every unit. Okay? Thank you very much for listening. And if you have any questions, of course, you can reach us here at Aaxsys. Thanks again.